Hey everybody, welcome to the pod again. I'm still sick from the New Year's if you've been following me on Instagram. I've been posting about I got sick after New Year's, and this usually happens after I do a big ritual. And um I did a burning of things I want to let go kind of ritual. And usually like it gets really potent if I use my old hair to burn with it. Burning, mm, it's reflective or symbolic of burning the past versions of me that I'm letting go of so I can step into new versions of myself. And from a neuroscience perspective, when my brain sees that, it believes in the change. And from the mystical perspective, it's energetic work. You're shifting things in that way too. So, and like I said in a recent post on Substack, it's there. Actually, no, I haven't posted it yet. I have a new post coming up, and my thoughts behind is science true versus the mystical, the magical, the esoteric. And for me, they're both true, depending on your background, your belief system, your culture, um, your individual nuances, etc. So, um, I I got sick. I'm going through a huge energetic shift. It's the winter time, the winter season, and it is a time to lay low, reflect, take it slow. It's the energy of winter. And normally society will tell us that, oh, it's the new year, we have to go out there and achieve our goals and make things happen, etc., etc. I don't believe in that. I believe personally, and take it if it resonates, that the real new year happens around spring or the lunar new year. Excuse me. And I'm not even gonna edit this coughing. And that that energetically makes more sense to me when where society tells you get at it, get at your goals. That's the energy of spring. When we're coming out, things are being born, things are born into the new world, having new beginnings, and taking action. And that's the energy of Aries season too, which happens like March, April. And so I'm here. I've been calling this moment, this season I'm in, this phase, my lab. I've been taking a step back, um, chilling. It's after the holidays. I'm not obligated to see anybody face to face. I'm very much in hermit mode right now, and I'm actually deeply satisfied and loving this moment. And what I've been doing is just resting, and just being curious and exploring and adventuring wherever my energy wants to take me. And the past week, it's been quite interesting. I've been working on a whole overhaul on Substack. It's getting a new rebrand, new graphics. The copy's different. I'm coming up with ideas as I do this, as I explore Substack, because I haven't actually I've been playing with Substack over the past year and just getting over my nervous system and how I feel about putting myself out there. That has been a huge hump. And if you're Filipino like me or resonate with this in any way, maybe Asian folks, but it is really like shocking to a Filipino's nervous system to put yourself out there, put your face out there, say things on video, like on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram. Like I struggled for a long time just posting pictures. And then I think I explained this before in an earlier episode that the journey of getting to the point to even come here on a podcast and record and say things, that was like its own journey by itself. So like it's all little steps, incremental steps until you get to this certain place where your nervous system and you feel and is ready to step into this new version. So I'm very much, I have the frame of you. If you are energetically like in your nervous system, and let me take a step back. What do I even mean by energy? Because some of you are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is energy? Is this like some woo-woo term? Okay. Energy, well, everything is energy. Everything's made up of energy. We're all made up of atoms. The air is even made up of atoms. The 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 TV screen is made up of atoms. Um and it's all vibrating at a certain pace depending on the object. Each object has its own um the how fast it vibrates. So when you hear vibration, frequency, energy, they're used interchangeably. And then, so then you might hear in spiritual spaces and you're like, what does that mean? Low vibration versus high vibration. So our emotional states, to bring it down to like a tangible, like easy example, they're labeled as low or high vibration. And from the esoteric or alternative spirituality framework, there's no such thing as good or bad. It just is. It's just a thing, and it exists, and it's just something to notice and learn from and about, and what you have to learn from and about within yourself about this thing. So when you have a low vibration and high vibration, you got low vibrations include fear, anxiety, despair, anger. Those are low vibrational energies, frequencies. Vibrations, energies, or frequencies. And then you got high vibration, love, joy, exploration, openness. Those are high vibration energies. So, why am I even explaining this? There's my ADHD brain again. But, um, so whenever you meet any energy worker, wait, let me pause. Let me think about where was I before I even go to the next thought. Okay, now I remember. Now I remember. Sorry, excuse me. I had to cough. Now I remember why I even went that way. Okay. Thanks, you guys. You know what? Thank you for all your patience. I'm not gonna edit this because this is the reality and the truth of who I am at this moment, and I'm gonna honor that. And this is just a part of my journey of becoming a person. And I like see this and it like blows my brain, but I always get these like inklings that one day I'm going to be some kind of speaker in front of an audience in some capacity. And I just have to take action and just do the thing and say the things imperfectly. And I tend to go back over these recordings and re-listen to myself saying these things. And in that process, I learn how to be a better speaker. I'm like, oh, I could have said it this differently. And this is the process. This is what learning and growing looks like. This is what evolving looks like, is accepting who you are in each phase of your life. So back to nervous system. And I was saying how if you're energetically not ready, I'm the frame of mind of trust that if you're energetically not ready to start a new thing because it's so like frightening to your nervous system, that's true. That's real. I'm in the frame of mind also to trust your body, follow it. tells you what you need and where you're at. And if you have this grand goal, and if you guys don't know, and it's the first time you're listening, I'm also a life coach. I'm a quantum hypnotist. I do breath work, and I'm learning, I'm training to do, get my master Reiki certificate. Um, I, that's me thinking faster than the words can come out. And when there, I lost my train of thought again. Hold on, please. And you know what? I'm not even going to change this or edit this at all. And I know I said that again, but I'm reaffirming it. So I'm of the frame of mind that if your body feels a certain way, it is true. Trust that. Follow it. You are not ready for that grand picture goal. Maybe your brain, because our minds trick us all the freaking time. I study a lot about the brain and the nervous system, like on my free time. This is all stuff that I've just learned over my career path building this business and building services as the titles I just shared with you, is that your mind will trick you. And if you listen to earlier podcast episode, I can't remember off the top of my head which episode it was, when I talk about your mind in the past versus the present mind versus the future mind. And I went through this last year. This was the struggle of my brain last year when you're like, when you're unrealistically optimistic about a future goal that you're achieving. I'm laughing because that's me. That was me last year. Unrealistically optimistic about this goal you're trying to achieve in the time frame that you think you're going to achieve it. Like every time it was like 6 months. I'm going to get it done in 6 months. Never happened in 6 months. And I think universe and my guys were like, girl. I needed the whole of last year to really up level myself and let go of old ways of thinking because they weren't working for me. I wasn't being realistic enough about where I was in my journey. Like I really believe in my brain that it was coming soon. And it's funny sorry, I had a cough. When you connect with, like, say you have somebody do a psychic reading for you, if you're in the habit and the practice of learning how to trust your own intuition and get messages for yourself, your guides will always say soon. They never really give you a date. And even then, timelines change. So, and I feel like all the readings I've had over the past years, and not saying this is bad, this was a lesson I need to learn. And over the past 3 years of getting readings, the answers were always, because like I'll ask when, and the answer was always soon. And then when one of them gave me the answer, like, you're in it for the long haul, I didn't even want to hear it. So even if you are getting the answer, does your brain want to hear it? This is how the brain tricks you. And the body is giving you the honest answer. Your body, your nervous system is giving you the honest answer of where you're at. And as you continue to grow and evolve into the person you're trying to be, and I'm talking about myself mostly, I don't know where anybody else is at who listens to my podcast. I don't know what your goals are. My goals, okay, if you're starting from this episode, my goals have been I left nursing. I decided I wanted to create my own business. And in 2021, it was learning what the fuck I even wanted to do. And I was also stepping into the world of alternative spirituality. A lot of things happening at once. So in my brain in 2021, I thought I was going to be a human design reader right off the bat. And that was what I was going to do. That was my business. And I tried to build it up from there. No. if you haven't went on the journey of exploring who you are and what you want, what are your interests, your authentic interests, the interests that people told you to want, then I had to go through that journey. From 2021 until now, I think up until last year, and even last year, I was still unsure as to what I really wanted to do. I mean, I had an idea. Quantum hypnotist, I've been like, this has been my title for like the past year solidly, like year and a half. Quantum hypnotist, life coach, breath worker. And I would question it because I'm a person whose my energy goes all over the place. And then I'm realizing as I keep continue on this path and taking baby steps every single day is that my energy is not going in a different direction. My energy still wants this business. And I'm learning as I travel through the path is that it's not gonna look what you think. It's not gonna look like what your brain thinks it's gonna be. I think it often never does. Unless you're one of those brilliant manifesting people that can visualize exactly what they want and get that thing or build that thing or create that thing. My brand of manifestation is I know what I want it to feel like, and I don't listen to I'm learning that I shouldn't listen to my brain on what it will end up being because that has not been my life at all. So I don't know why I even listen to my brain to begin with. See, the brain is such a trickster. So what do I mean by listening to the body when it comes to moving forward and being realistic? Is back to if you're doing that really scary thing, you're stepping into doing a really scary thing. Listen to it. It's probably too big of an endeavor for you to take on. Cut the step down, make it smaller, cut it in half, or cut it even smaller, the smallest freaking baby step that you can think of. And then sometimes life will throw you experiences that will force you to step into new versions of yourself. And as you continue to work with yourself, work on yourself, understand the flow that you're meant to live in, like the ease of flow of life that you're meant to step into. This is alignment. If you're living in alignment, you're living in ease and flow, in not congruence, but in harmony with life and the seasons and the way your body wants to be, where the way you like the energy of your body, whether it's tired, it needs rest, whether it's ready to work and put out work like that. When you're in alignment like that, you'll understand when it is time to do each thing. This is what's happening to me right now. It's like finally getting through to my brain that it's okay that I'm taking this space and literally doing nothing. I actually did go on a walk yesterday, but I was ready to go for a walk after all this downtime. Like I haven't been moving my body as much, and if you've listened to other podcast episodes on my body, I'm learning how to move my body more. Um, and that's been its own journey. And I know some people are like, what? You don't move your body? I did not learn how to move. Like my parents weren't active people. I did not learn how to move my body. Learning my to move my body now is the skill I'm learning. And let's go to skills. What are we ever evolving into? What like in our with our goals? Let me rephrase that. When we step into new versions of ourselves because we want to achieve this goal, and we have to step into new versions of ourselves to have this goal, because the old version of ourselves couldn't be the person who could achieve this goal. What are you doing as you're learning and evolving? You're developing new skills. All we're ever doing is developing new skills. And skills could look like anything. it could be mental health capacity type of skills, like my um, my emotional maturity around the situation. And like, oh, I have a trigger coming up. And instead of being reactive to the situation and letting your brain take over and say all the shitty limiting beliefs and talk shit about you or whatever happens in your brain that doesn't feel good, that low vibration thinking that comes with low vibration emotions, is that you you might stop yourself from ever doing the thing. And that was me for a long time up until my 20s, until like I hit my Saturn return in my like right before my 30s. And if you're not familiar with astrology, Saturn return is like the astrological coming into adulthood, like somewhere around like 28 to 30, 27 to 30, you will experience great challenges during that time if you haven't learned a set of like learn to overcome these challenges while you were growing up. You'll be faced by challenges then to help you grow and become an adult. So adulthood in astrology doesn't technically begin until around that time frame. So during my Saturn return in when I was 27, I fucking had it with myself. I was like, I'm done. And I decided to find my first nursing job. I was like sitting on my ass for a year and a half, couldn't find a nursing job. And then I decided enough is enough. I'm tired of my shit. I need to take action because all the knowledge that I learned from school is slowly like leaking out of my brain for a year and a half. So I looked for answers. I decided to ask other people in my network. And that was another thing too. Learning to harness your own network. Everybody thinks that they have to go, and this is me too. I can say this because this is me too. That I have to go and reach out to this famous person or person with a huge following and ask for an opportunity, which granted, it's a thing. You can ask for opportunities, but sometimes you would be surprised, and I surprised myself, how resourced you actually are. Who are you connected with? And if you think on 8 degrees of separation, I believe that's what it's called, you are actually connected to other people who have resources, who are kind enough to like lend you that thought, that advice, or maybe you need that in to connect with this like you never know, like or they might have something that can help you. Like I always ask around now, like, hey, I'm like looking to do this thing. Um, I'm trying to put this thing together and I'm like really like into it, but I'm missing this certain piece. And somebody is always like, oh, I have this, blah, blah, blah. And it's fucking great. And it's not even in related to business. It could be literally anything. The other day I was looking for yarn. Granted, I didn't find my answer, but granted, I didn't find the yarn that I wanted. I was in this mode where I wanted to like do something with my hands. And I love crocheting. I picked up crocheting last year. I don't have any money right now. And I just kept seeing like TikToks and stuff about um crocheting and stuff. That's what my feed turned into because I wanted to do it. But notice when you're presented with a situation and you want to do that thing, but maybe universe is like, hey, there is something you want to do about this thing, but there's something about it, not this particular thing. And I realized, and this was like right before Christmas, because I was thinking, I really want to give people gifts. I don't have any money. I want to make something. And at the same time, I was having thoughts of as separate thoughts on a different day. I want to make something. I'm like been itching to make something with my hands. I love making things with my hands. And then I was going through my drawer, and then I realized I had all these really cute paper theaters that I bought from Japan from my vacation in Japan the year before, last October, or not last October, the October before, because October just passed. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. I get to make something with my hands, and I get to make Christmas gifts. You do not realize, especially in this modern society, with how much crap we buy, what you have in your fucking house. If you just look around and see and clean a little bit, you might be surprised, like, oh shit, I have this. And maybe I can sell it if I need like extra change or whatever. And what's cool about this is that this is problem solving. You're problem solving and we're being creative. And I heard this from a podcast that I'm like, oh, absolutely over the moon. Like, I'm gonna give you another tip after this. Her name is Esther, and she says creativity is just problem solving. I'm like, what? This is so brilliant. It's so true. Like, whenever man in history had a problem, they used creativity to figure it out. Like, I thought X, Y, and Z, what happens? Like, think of all the recipes in cooking. They just didn't know how to cook all these things after man made fire, after fire was discovered. We had to experiment. We had to get curious. We had to get creative. And what did we do before fucking cell phones and social media and the internet and getting stuck on our screens and stuck on TV, on all this entertainment? And granted, I love binge watching a good show. My energy wants to go there too. No shame in it. Remember I said no, there's no right or wrong. If you want to watch that show, and me, it's like anime. I want to watch this anime. There's nothing wrong with it. Follow your energy and notice how you feel. Notice your life and be realistic. And if you do feel like you are spending too much time on doing something, it might be true, or it could be a shame thought that you took on from your parents about being a lazy ass or something. Like, whatever your brain says, then fucking indulge. I watch anime now because when I was a little kid, I didn't have access to anime like how you have access to anime now back in the 80s. It wasn't everywhere like it is now, which is fucking, I'm like a kid in a candy store now. And then when I let myself be entertained by this genre, I'm feeding my inner child part of me, my inner child soul. And she's grateful and happy for that. Because when I was 17, I got pregnant and I got kicked out of the house, and life I had to grow up really quick. So I'm in this phase of my life now that my son's grown and out of the house and working and has his own place and living on his own. I am indulging in things that I could not in my 20s and that I could not in my childhood. Fucking follow that. This is me giving you permission. Do that fucking thing that your kid wanted to do, and you'd be surprised. Your your he, she, or they is gonna tell you things about what you really wanted to do. What is your true interests? Your child self is the closest version of you to your soul because they were so unabashed. If this was your experience, they children are unapologetically themselves. So trust your inner child, and if you haven't tapped into your inner child, maybe I'll make a hypnosis on it. Actually, that really sounds really exciting to me. I will make it after I don't have a cold. I haven't been able to make any more hypnosis tracks since I made the Rose of Authenticity hypnosis track. Check it out. I love it. I have a lot of fun making it. It's only 8 minutes. Listen to it as many times as you need. It's for the new year, and you literally listen to it any time of the year because I made it so that it doesn't really think about the calendar. I didn't put a date on it. Like, you can listen to it. It's vague. Big enough that you can create it, make big enough so that it applies to you. And you can let your mind get creative with it. And I think that's my intention with everything I create and put out there for everyone that's free or not free. Nothing that's tailored to a specific person is that it'll be vague enough for you guys to be creative with it so it can still be used by you as a tool that can help you shift your life. And since I'm sick and I have a lot of downtime, I'm probably just going to write scripts for now. Like, don't let your mind go, oh, you're sick, you can't do anything. Because there's something weird about the brain and the way we were shaped and molded in prime in this society is this whole like totality thing. Like, I am sick, I can't do, like, everything's out the window. You can't do it at all. And it's weird because there's actually a step in that I could actually just write the script. And that would be a step in that effort. And it's been really nice to just sit here and relax and rest and mend and explore my new Reiki practice and just write and create and organize my Substack. I love how it's coming out, you guys. I'm really excited for it. I have so many brilliant ideas, and I feel like I'm already mapping until April what's happening this year with the business, which is like wild because last year, the version of me last year couldn't even think of planning things in the future. I'm not a planner, not in that sense where like I'm creating content and putting it out. Like I always think like what if I get bored of it? Like what if my energy's not into it by the time I get there, so I wouldn't create. And I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck because now as I create, I love it so much. It like doesn't even matter. And then when I look back on my old stuff, I'm like, "Oh, look at my old version of myself that really sucked at this, but did the thing regardless. And I got over that hump. And now look at this version of me where I'm like, holy shit, I really don't care. I just want to put out content. I want people to know that I'm here. I want to be seen and heard and share my thoughts and ideas. And that's my path. That might not be your path. Some people aren't meant to be just out there. That's for you to figure it out. Or if you work with me, I can help you figure that out. Shameless plug. It is my podcast though. But yeah. So I did want to get on here too because I would mention how I went on a walk. I'm not walking today, and I had my practices of I'm like developing the skill of like really taking care of my body, fitness, taking daily walks, going to the gym. And yesterday I finally was able like felt excuse me. I felt well enough to go for a walk. And I went out for a walk, like took a little video, posted on Instagram, showed my cute face, and I didn't know the fires in LA were happening just yet. And like you hear fire and you're like, oh, it's California, like fires, whatever. I didn't know to the severity of it until my partner came home and he's like, you should close the window. There's ash everywhere. And I was like, what? Because when I went for a walk, I didn't see ash. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the LA fires for a hot minute. Because if you guys don't know, I live in LA County. I live on the other side of LA. I don't live in downtown LA. And we're safe, but my whole feed is just everything about LA fires at like people I follow, people I've worked with, people I'm friends with, people I know that are affected, people that were evacuating, who are just waiting on the fires, and news and current events, because I like to talk about it. It's important for a collective awareness, how our systems don't work. So maybe one day I'm inspired. I've been inspired for over a year and more community minded when I decided to let myself learn about what's going on in the world about me and not being so focused on my immediate reality, and both coexist at the same time. Like I can care about myself and care about the community because I am a part of the community. I mean, logically it makes sense, but I'm speaking about the versions of me that didn't have the nervous system space or capacity to care about anything else because I've been so in survival mode for so long. And this is why the inner work is so important. When we do the inner work and love on ourselves and release fears, anxieties, guilt, shame, etc., all those low vibrational feelings that are just things that we learn from, grow from, evolve from, and let go. We learn to love ourselves, bring joy to ourselves instead, be in levity and lightness. And when we are in a high vibrational state, we can help others from this place. We can help others from this place. And it's not that people who are in the energy of fear, guilt, and shame don't help people. There are definitely people who will jump to the cause at a moment's notice. It's just something to note and notice. And feel free to I finally figured out on Spotify how to turn on comments. So, by the way, as long as while I've been building this business, I've been learning how to do everything else, like be technologically savvy. I'm a fucking millennial who thought that I didn't need technology, so I didn't do technology for for a long time. So this past 3 years, I've been learning how to be online. That's so ridiculous. And I'm gonna tell you this too. 2015 was the last time I used MapQuest, so this is how anti-technology I had been. So it is never too late to learn a new skill. I'm just letting you know now. I just turned 40. You guys are probably like, this sassy lady is crazy. Anyways, so when you're in a high vibrational state, you have more space in your nervous system to give to others, to service your community, to think about new and creative solutions. You can innovate from that place. And this is why people who are more like rich people, they have the nervous system capacity for challenging things to happen. Now, granted, I say that, and a lot of people where the fires originated in LA, it's in the Pacific Palisades. It's a very affluent community, and I'm not here to shame anybody about it, but it's very interesting and striking to me that people say they're rich, they're gonna be fine, when they literally lost their whole livelihood, all the money and effort they put into their homes and the lives that they built is all gone. All that energy they put into making the money that they do, to build the homes that they have, to create the memories that they do, it's all gone. And we don't know what their backgrounds are. Maybe they are Nepo babies, but some of them could be from the ground up. I have a friend in another neighborhood that's she lives in a well-off person. She grew up on a fucking farm, okay? You don't know. It's so, like, it goes back to the whole conversation on labels. Labels are so interesting. Like, we see a rich person, and all of a sudden we have this, like, um, avatar with these are the details of what a rich person is. We don't know their background. We don't know their history, what they grew up from, what it took to get them there. It does, it, it's like the label makes them less human. And people who are suffering from loss and are feeling the pain of somebody who is not well off, the same kind of loss. It's the same feeling. It just looks different in each human. So just think about that and think about how can I be if you're not feeling, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what to do and how to feel if you're not feeling empathic, but just notice how you feel inside about this situation. A lot of people will brush it off. They're rich. Their insurance is going to cover it. Just so you know, some people's insurances got dropped off after while this is happening. So they might not have a home after this. Some people ran out of there just carrying their laptops and their pets. So I feel like there's going to be this coming to Jesus moment about this whole situation. And another friend was saying, like, people are going to understand that even rich people aren't immune to this. And I don't know, there's going to be some kind of shift that's going to happen. I just know it. I don't have the words for it. I'm not a psychic. I'm not going to try to read into it. Even though I do know some very, like, uh, a skillful, gifted psychics who probably could. And I'm just going to say there's going to be a shift, collective shift from these fires. And let me talk about the symbolism of fire, because I love symbolism. If you guys catch it on my Substack, I like very intentionally make certain things look a certain way. It has a meaning for me, and it that gives it the vibration of a lot of heart and creativity, and like this is valuable and precious, just as it is this thing that I'm creating. And this is how you know it's made by a human, by the way. And so what happens when you have a fire? Things are burning away, things are being let go of, and in this particular situation, by force, not on purpose. And this goes back to the ritual I spoke about. You're burning things away, things are dissolving. Everything that was in the material plane turns to ash and returns back to the earth. Nothing here that we have is permanent. And in the use of that practice is releasing the old. And when we release the old, and in this is through fire, we make space for new things to come through, but in the energy of destruction of fire. And I'm not using destruction out of being scary, like to scare you, but that's what it is. Fire breaks down and destroys things and reduces things to ash. Is that nothing here on this earth, even our bodies, is permanent. And knowing that we could at any time just leave whether it be fire or natural causes. What do you want to do instead? What, like, in a blink of an eye, everything can be gone, including your life. Damn, I'm getting really dark and deep for all of a sudden. But these are real ass questions. And in that, in that dissolving of a material thing, of the physical, there's a process of grieving that happens. And right now, collectively, the grieving is happening right now. Well, first, let's like Maslow's hierarchy on needs. We're like in survival mode. People who are near the fires, they're looking to get out and just be alive. And then after that, in comes the grief. And this is just how Mother Nature and cycles are. The seasons are like this. You see the trees, we're in winter. This is the fire, the dissolving of things. And then like the quiet and coming back to bare bones. And then as we sit in this space and just be with ourselves and each other, we could be in this quiet space, in this hermit-like energy. And then suddenly spring comes and all this new grows and flourishes and comes in. So the energy of fire is the dissolving of things and making room for new things to come. Granted, depending on where you are in this experience with the fires, this is probably take me with a grain of salt. Ignore what I'm saying if you are feeling some kind of way. This is not a message for you. But for someone who is out, who could learn from the situation and see this from a safe distance, and you are on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and your safety is met, you can think higher thoughts. You can look at the situation and see the collective is seeing this situation like, oh my God, this fire is out of fucking control. Like they literally, 30% of the firefighters on ground are fucking prisoners who through a law, there's like a slavery loophole in the law that has been in the law for like ever, like decade, like I don't know, maybe centuries. I don't know. I'm not a great historian, but it's been there for a very long time. And they can make prisoners work. They don't have rights like we do out here. And they're not trained to fight fires. And for people who are not in the midst of the chaos and are watching from a safe distance, maybe from another part of the world, what you can do from a spiritual perspective, and you don't even need to believe in energetics and alternative spirituality, that everybody can send a empathetic, like a prayer or well wishes. Anybody can do that. You don't have to be a woo woo person to do that. Send them love and safety and whatever is on your heart that you want to share with these people. And you just don't know what will happen next if we start stepping forward as a collective and think about others in the community in a higher vibrational state, thinking more community minded, caring for the other. If we care for others, then we care about ourselves. If we don't care about others, we don't care about ourselves. Others are a mirror and reflection to ourselves. So with that, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. If you are you are not listening to this podcast, I hope you're not. Please stay safe out there, buddy. We're safe right now. I don't know what's gonna happen with this fire. I don't know if we might need to move, but we're safe so far. So love and blessings to everybody. And thank you for being with me tonight. Bye.